Hi everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about the National Electrical Code and how it applies to your kitchen and bathroom design. So for residences specifically, okay, this does not apply to commercial design, but only for residences, the National Electrical Code has very specific rules for where you need to place your receptacles. All right, and California has adopted them into our electrical code also. So this is part of our Title 24. All right, so this slide is just showing you the areas of a home and which rules apply. Okay, so we'll talk about what those rules mean in a coming up. Okay, first of all, kind of the general rule for all over the house, living, dining, family rooms, bedrooms, etc. Okay, those are all going to follow the 6 foot, 12-foot rule. Okay, kitchen countertops specifically have a different rule, 2 foot, 4 foot rule. But anywhere else in the kitchen, like you have an eating area, uh, will follow the rules for the rest of the house, which is that 6 foot, 12-foot rule. So we're going to learn about both of them. In bathrooms and garages specifically, you need at least one outlet. That's the only rule, okay? In foyers or entryways that are greater than 60 square feet, okay, you need one on each wall that's greater than 3 feet wide. Okay, so apparently you need a little bit more electricity in entryways. In hallways that are greater than 10 feet long, you need at least one outlet. Okay, so you don't have to follow that 6 foot, 12-foot in hallways. You just need one somewhere in there. Okay, I call that the vacuum outlet. All right, closets. None are required in closets, even in walk-in closets. Okay, and finally, the exterior of the house, you need at least one at the front and one at the rear of every house. You need at least one for every balcony, deck, or porch that is accessible from inside the house. Okay, so if you can get to there from inside the house, you need an outlet. Okay, so what is that 6 foot, 12-foot rule? Right, before we even get to it, the 6 foot, 12-foot rule has two important parts to it, and one is receptacle placement, and the other one is the definition of what wall space means. Okay, so in the 6 foot, 12-foot rule, the outlet has to be installed so that no point along a wall space is more than 6 feet from an outlet, and I'll demonstrate that to you in just a second. Wall space is specifically defined as any space 2 feet or more in width. Okay, so if it's shorter than 2 feet, don't even care, right? And it has to be unbroken along the floor line. What will break your wall space? Doorways, fireplaces, any openings like that. So 6 foot, 12 foot. What it means is that a receptacle will serve the wall for 6 feet on either side of it. And therefore, if you kind of do 6 feet from one and 6 feet from the other, the maximum spacing that you can ever have is 12 feet. And I like to think of this as a floor lamp. Okay, so I put a floor lamp on your slide here with a 6 foot cord. Anywhere you place that floor lamp along a wall, okay, we're not talking in the middle of the room, but along a wall, you'll be able to plug it in because it could go 6 feet one way, 6 feet the other way, and you'll be fine at any location along that wall. So what does that look like in a floor plan? Here's an example. All right, so this is a very simple, looks like a bedroom. Okay, it's got a entry door. It's got a sliders with 2 sliding panels and 1 fixed panel. That's important. Okay, we've got, I think this is a window, and we've got a closet with a closet door right here. So how do we apply the 6 foot, 12-foot rule? What you do is you start at the edge of an opening. Okay, so this door breaks the wall line, this opening. So we're going to start right here, and we're going to measure a maximum of 6 feet from that end point. So maximum 6 feet, and then place a receptacle. All right. The next one is unbroken wall, so we can go 12 feet. We don't have to. You can be shorter, but you can go a maximum of 12 feet for the next receptacle. All right. And then this wall gets broken right here with this sliding panel. And so here's another endpoint. And so if you go back this direction, your outlet must be within 6 feet of that endpoint. Okay, so this part right here is broken, okay, as in you wouldn't want to run a cord in front of it, and so you don't have to count that for the 6 foot, 12 foot roll. This piece right here is a fixed panel, and it counts as a wall, okay, and this catches a lot of people. And so it's greater than 2 feet wide, so we need an outlet. So you'll place one right here. In this case, because that's a glass panel, they most likely placed a floor outlet. Next, we've got our wall is broken right here. And so we'll start at this corner. We'll measure a maximum of 6 feet to our outlet. We've got unbroken wall because this is a higher window and the wall runs underneath it. That window does not break the wall. So we have a maximum of 12 feet to the next outlet, a maximum of 12 feet to the next outlet, and a maximum of 6 feet to the next outlet. This piece is broken right here. And then we have a short little segment. Is it 2 feet wide? Yes, it is. Therefore, it needs an outlet. Okay, if it was less than 2 feet wide, we wouldn't need an outlet here. I've got one more example of a plan with the 6 foot, 12 foot rule, so let's walk through it. In this case, looks like we've got a room with a little wing wall, and on this side there's a door and a sliding door and a fireplace. So I'm going to start right here at this entry, and we're going to start at this corner and measure, because it's at the end, a maximum of 6 feet to our outlet. And then there's another opening right here. No real space for a 12 foot, so we need a maximum of 6 feet measuring back from that end point there. Same here, we've got our wall. It measures from here along. Oh, that fixed glass counts as a wall, and so our end point is there. Maximum of 6 feet from each end to our electrical outlet. Our sliding door does not count. It will break our wall. Next section we have is a little segment, but it's wider than 2 feet, therefore it needs an outlet. Here's our next segment right here. It's going to start at this corner, come around, turn the corner. Did you notice that these wall lengths turn the corner? Yep, you just keep on going, keep measuring, okay? But the fireplace will break your wall. Think of this as anything that you don't want to run the cord in front of. You wouldn't want to run a cord from one side of the fireplace to another. Okay, so therefore it breaks the wall, and you need a maximum of 6 feet from each end. Okay, this one's going to be a longer run all the way from this fireplace around, 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 and yes, it does go around the corners. Okay, all the way to here. So this long wall, you have an endpoint here and an endpoint here. You'd measure a maximum of 6 feet from any endpoint, and then a maximum of 12 feet for those interior outlets. Remember that you can absolutely space them closer. Okay, you can put them wherever is convenient for you and your design. These are just the maximum spacings allowed.